So today we're going to tackle a different kind of story. A story that I've been sitting on for a long time, but wasn't sure of how to tackle it. But with recent events and me wanting to pay homage to one of my favorite authors in the world, I think I'm finally going to make this video, which is, what if Dragon Ball and Touhou intermingled? What if they had the same world? Now, I'm not saying it's like a genuine merging of the crossovers. It's not like Remilia is Goku's sister or anything like that. No. I'm saying Gensokyo exists on the Earth. Not on Earth. Sorry. Gensokyo exists in Universe 7 as a planet, right? And now they play a role. When do they play a role? Well, actually sooner than you might think. Because instead of going to Yardrat after the, climactic battle on Namek, Goku actually ends up on Gensokyo. And there he meets the native inhabitants and he starts to teach them ki control. They teach him stuff too. They teach him how to use Danmaku, which I guess is no different than Vegeta's technique, which is just firing random energy blasts. But their techniques are more refined. They're their own version of the Yardrats, really, because they have firmer ki control. Yes, they use ki instead of magic here, because that just muddles things up way too much. And because of their ability to use ki in that way, he does learn abilities that are akin to instant transmission. He can lock onto an energy signature and still teleport. And because of that, they help him rebuild his ship. The Kappa do, actually. They rebuild it because they're very smart. And here's where something different happens. Instead of going back to Earth alone, he brings someone with him. Son Biten. Yeah, you heard me right, Son Biten. The girl who was confused, who thought she was the reincarnation of Sun Wukong, but isn't. But she's very clearly based on him. And Goku himself is based on Sun Wukong. And unsurprisingly, when they meet, they hit it off. And Goku's like, you know, your fighting style is a lot like mine. And she's like, you're pretty good too, mister. And they hit it off. And when he's about to leave, Biten's like, wait, are you telling me there's a lot more strong guys like you where you're from? And he's like, definitely, there's a lot. Wait till you meet Vegeta. And she's like, I'm so excited. And what we don't know at this point is that that tail that Biten has is more than just a tail. She's not just some alien yokai species like the other Gensokyo inhabitants. No, she's a Saiyan who had landed on Gensokyo years ago and was raised by Sakata. And because of that, what happens is that when they go back to Earth, Trunks is there, of course. He has handily defeated Frieza. But now Biten is with Goku. And here's the twist. Trunks has no idea who Biten is. This is different. This didn't happen in his timeline. Goku didn't arrive with anyone else. So he introduces Biten to everyone, and then Trunks takes Goku aside and explains the whole android debacle and everything that is going on there, right? And then Goku, with the help of Piccolo, explains the whole issue of what happened. And basically they're like, okay, we have to train for the androids. And then Goku invites Biten to come train with him, Piccolo, and Gohan. And despite being a lot like Goku, Biten actually bonds with Gohan. She enjoys his gentle spirit and isn't as hard on him as Piccolo and Goku are. And because of that, they kind of form a brother and sister relationship. And they each get stronger. And that is when Goku and Gohan, as they're fighting, they realize Biten is keeping up with him. She's getting stronger and stronger. And then Vegeta shows up and he's like, Kakarot, that girl right there, she's a Saiyan. And Goku's like, what? She's a Saiyan? I thought she just had a tail like those other random alien species that were on that planet. He's like, no, I can tell. She's definitely a Saiyan. But why do you have brown hair? And then Biten's like, I don't know. And then Goku's like, it doesn't matter, right, Vegeta? maybe some Saiyans had different hair color. You didn't meet all Saiyans, did you? And he's like, I hate that you're right. So he goes off to do his own training. You know, he goes out to space soon, so we can forget about him. So the 3 years pass, the android shows up, and because of B10 not being naive, she reminds Goku to take his heart medicine. So he's doing a lot better on that front. He's still sick, don't get me wrong. It's a cure, not a preventative. But because of that, he's able to tackle the symptoms early, and he starts curing earlier. He's still not well, though, clearly. Because when Android 19 and 20 show up, they're like, nom, 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 nom. Yamcha gets Yamcha'd, unfortunately, poor guy. That goes pretty much the same as usual, except here, B10 backs Goku up against Android 19 when she sees him faltering, because while he's not as harmed as he is in the original, he's still not in good shape. So she comes in, they fight. Yamcha takes Goku away when it's clear he's not doing too well. And unfortunately, Android 19 manages to steal B10's energy. But then Vegeta comes in with the save, and he's like, "Get out of here, woman." And she's like, "For the Prince of all Saiyans, you really are rude, you know." He's like, "Hey, Android, you want to see true fear, boy?" And he turns into a Super Saiyan. And that's very important, because now B10 has seen a Super Saiyan 3 times, and she's aware that she's a Saiyan. So keep that in mind, that's very important. So the battles go on as usual. Trunks shows up to help. Androids 17, 18, and 16 are freed. But in this case, they don't get beat as badly because B10 is present. And remember, she was keeping up with Goku and Gohan, so she's not weak by any means. And she got a Zenkai after she got a Senzu after getting her energy drank. So she's actually capable of doing pretty well, but without Super Saiyan or anything like that, she's pounded into the ground. But she does her best, and because of that, the androids, as usual, they're like, "You know what? Let's go get a car," and they leave. So then the story progresses as usual, but with one difference. Now because B10 is around, Trunks, Gohan, and Vegeta have a 4th Saiyan to train with. Because he's recovering. He'll be back sooner than usual, but he's recovering. So they all train, and then Vegeta, because he gets a wild hair up his ass, he's like, "You know, I want to see if you're capable of becoming a Super Saiyan woman." So he goes like extra hard at her, and Gohan's like, "Yo, stop bullying her. Like, she's clearly not responding well to this." And then Vegeta's like, "Get out of my way, boy!" And he just like bitch slaps Gohan. And remember, B10 and Gohan have a very close relationship, like brother and sister. And this sets B10 off. She's like, "Don't hurt Gohan!" And she goes golden. And then Vegeta's like, "Ha!" And then you get sucker punched, flies into the mountain. And she's like out of control almost, because you know the initial Super Saiyan transformation can take you by surprise. Luckily, Trunks is there, and he calms her down. He's like, Listen, B10, I know why you're angry, but please, you have to control yourself. You don't give in to the rage." And she's like, "Fine." So now B10 is a Super Saiyan. And soon, there lurks a new evil in the darkness, Cell. But we're gonna save that for the next video.